Om yo brahmanang vidadhati purvam yo vai vedascha prahinoti tasmai tang hadevam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshur vai sharanamaham prapadye. Whose light reveals the knowledge of the Atman, who first creates the cosmic soul and delivers to him the supreme knowledge. Desirous of emancipation, I seek refuge in that effulgent being. Good morning. Today, the title of our talk is Ask Questions, Go Deeper. So please don't ask questions now. After the lecture, you can ask questions, and I will try to give answers as much as possible. Questioning is a sign of an active mind. Human babies begin to exhibit signs of questioning and curiosity quite early in their development. While they may not articulate questions in the way older children and adults do, their behavior indicates an early form of inquiry. From birth, babies start exploring the world through their senses. They look at objects, listen to sounds, touch, and taste things to learn about their environment. When they grow a little older, babies start pointing at objects. This behavior often indicates curiosity and can be seen as a non-verbal way of asking, "What is that?" They cannot articulate, but you can understand. Slowly, toddlers often begin to ask simple questions like, "What's that?" and "Where?" Their vocabulary expands rapidly, and they start forming more complex sentences. Still further, around age 3 or around that, children enter the why phase, where they ask numerous questions about everything. This phase reflects their growing cognitive abilities and their desire to understand cause and effect. And still further, when they grow up more, a little, children's questions become more complex and specific. They might ask about how things work, why people behave in certain ways, and about abstract concepts like time and emotions. The elders of the family can understand the maturity of children's minds from their questions. Nera, the son of Holy Mother's niece, Maku, used to ask striking questions when he was only around 2 years old. He was very close to Holy Mother, Sri Sharada Devi. Nera once asked, "Who made the flowers red?" Holy Mother answered to the little boy, "The Master has done so." Sri Ramakrishna Thakur, he has done so. Next question, why? Because he will put them on. Sri Holy Mother, he talked about that boy further. He used to call Sharot, that is Sharadananda, red uncle, probably Lal Mama, probably for the ochre cloth. He could not read or write, being barely 2.5 or 3 years years of age, yet in imitation of Sharoth, that is Sharadanandaji, he sat with a broken wooden box in front and every day wrote on it letters to Sharoth, from Jairambati or maybe Kualpara to Kolkata. Because he saw, perhaps you have seen that picture, Swami Sharadananda ji keeping a small wooden table in front of him. He's writing all those things. That picture is there. So he was imitating. Yet in imitation of Sharoth, he sat with a broken wooden box in front and every day wrote on it letters to Sharoth. And he said by word of mouth whatever news of this place he was sending. But Nera was not an ordinary toddler. Holy Mother used to say, one cannot find so many good tendencies in a boy of his age. From somewhere he brought Guloncho plumerias, a certain flower or good fragrance, that flowers every day to worship my feet. Extraordinary. It does not match with ordinary toddler. The mother recalled that Nera once called her Sita. Extraordinary. Some things are ordinary, these are the extraordinary things. Unfortunately, Nera did not live long. A few days, probably some months later, he died of diphtheria. After his untimely death, Holy Mother said, the boy must have been some spiritual aspirant who died in an earlier life before attainment of salvation in his last life. Or he might have been some holy man. He had a little left, little karma, little prarabdha we call, little left. That much is over. This is his last birth. Sometimes in our lives, we come across these kinds of boys and girls with unusual questions. We have seen in the lives of many great people who have shown their extraordinary curiosity to understand the nature around them. Their eagerness to delve into the very existence of human life and activities when they were just little kids. Thoughtful, brilliant boy Nachiketa, one of the central figures of the story depicted in Kathopanishada, noticed laxity in performing the obligatory religious rites that his father was doing. He found some laxity. He was not serious in charity and doing all those things. He made his father uncomfortable by asking some basic questions. And that was how this grand Upanishad began, from the question of Nachiketa. Many of the Upanishads, like Kena Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, and Shvetashvatara Upanishad, start with questions. The Kena Upanishad is so called because it starts with the word Kena, means by whom. By whom this phenomenal world controlled, the Upanishad asks. Om kene shita pratati preshitang manaha kena pranaha prathama praiti yuktaha kene shitam bacha mimang vadanti chakshuhu shrotrang ka u deva yunakti. The Upanishad opens with a fundamental question: who controls our sense organs? The question also implies who controls this world. The organs clearly are not independent. If they were, they would not do things that ultimately harm the person concerned. We sometimes notice that. Knowingly, unknowingly, we do mistakes. The workings of the entire phenomenal world seem to be directed by someone. Now, who is this person? In Shvetashvara Upanishad, it starts with a similar kind of mantra. Brahmavadino vadanti. Some Brahmavadins, some sages, they are sitting all together and they are exchanging their thoughts. King karanang brahma kutasma jata jivama kena kvacha sampratishtha adhishthita kena sukhe tareshu vartamahe brahma vido vyavastham. In those days, it used to be the practice among scholars to meet together on special occasions, such as at the time of a marriage or a service for the departed. And they would ask each other questions, all kinds of questions. Why this? Why that? One scholar asked the other, Kim Karanam Brahma? Is Brahman the cause? Is Brahman the cause of the universe? If so, what is the nature of that cause? Is Brahman the material cause or the efficient cause? What kind of? Upadana Karana or Nimitta Karana? What kind of cause? The material cause of a table is wood, and efficient cause is a carpenter. But what about this universe? Kuta sma jata, where did we come from? Jivama kena, who support us, kvacha sampratishtha, where shall we go when we die? What happens to us? This is the question you probably remember Nachiketa asked. Adhishthitaha kena, by whom we are controlled, who decides our fate? Sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are unhappy. Who controls us, putting us sometimes in the midst of joy and sometimes in the midst of sorrow? No one says, I am always happy. Vartamahe vyavastham, we live according to some plan, some schedule. Everything seems to be prearranged, as if something or someone is controlling us. I am not my own master. If I were my own master, I would have said, I will be happy all the time. I will laugh all the time. But this does not happen. I am not my own master. Who controls us? Then, in next verse, they are discussing. They are giving their opinions. Kala swabhava niyatir yadricha bhutani yoni purusha iti chintya sanyoga eshang natvatma bhavat atmapi anishaha sukha dukkha hetuho. The time, nature means swabhava, like such as heat in fire. Fire's swabhava, nature, is to give heat. Law, chance, sanyoga, some accident, chance, matter, intelligence, chaitanya. Neither this nor a combination of this can bear examination because of their own birth, identity, and the existence of the self. The self also is not a free agent, being under the sway of happiness and misery. So, the Brahmavadins, the sages, felt this was a matter they should deeply ponder. So next verse, it says, before that we will try to, so te dhyana yoganugata apashyan devatma shakti swaganir nibhudham yah karanani nikhilani tani kalatma yuktani adhishtishtati ekaha. So before that, what they saw in their meditation. So let us go deeper, because first part of our question was ask questions. So little what they, after asking all those questions, what they thought. So let us start with, we will not discuss all those points, but some of that. So first they told, is that time, is that nature, the cause of the universe? So then they found not time. So how they thought, what was their thought process? We can give a look. To explain the various possible explanations for the riddle of the universe are here considered one by one and rejected as unsatisfactory. To explain a riddle is to relate it to something we already know through the law of causation. That's how we compare. A cause is something which must invariably and immediately precede the effect. 2 points. which must invariably and immediately precede the effect, the cause. To explain the universe, therefore, number one, is to find out something which must necessarily and immediately precede it, and two, a knowledge of which is essential before we can understand the universe. Before we understand the universe, the cause you have to understand first. That's why we call it cause. No. The various possible explanations offered cannot bear scrutiny, as we shall see. First, let us take time. The fact that things are born and exist in time may make it a plausible explanation of the world. From Kala, from the time, everything originated. Huh? There are, however, serious objections to this. Time is but a part of the framework of thought itself. And without thought, it cannot exist. Yeah? So, time, when you are conscious about time, so it's a part of your thought. You have started thinking. Thought itself is a part of the universe whose explanation we seek. Thought, a part of the universe. Therefore, to consider time as an explanation of the universe will amount to reducing the former into an explanation of itself. It would be again the same thing as to say that the cause of time is time itself, which is no explanation. Again, further scrutiny. Time, though it appears to be eternal, always changes from the past through the present to the future. And it would seem to consist of innumerable moments which come into existence and die just as any other object we can conceive of. Moments. One moment, we finish that, and we started recognizing that another moment. So, it will also, third point, it will also be seen on self-analysis that the cognizing self always precedes the cognition of time. I am thinking. So, you recognize yourself first. I am thinking. So, time cannot considered as the first cause which brought the universe into existence. The word Atma Bhava gives the three reasons above as to why time cannot be considered as a cause. These are oneness with the universe, subjection to birth, and existence of the self prior to it. Thus starts about nature. So I do not want to give much pressure. So nature, but one or two sentences I can say that we call heat is the nature of fire. The nature of universe, if we say that nature of universe is the cause of universe, it never happens. The heat, whenever you think about heat, the idea of fire comes. So heat cannot be a cause of fire. So nature, the swabhava of the universe, cannot be cause of universe. You cannot keep heat separately from fire. So you cannot, we talk some things that, that we cannot keep the nature of universe before universe. We cannot do that. So that is the way this is how to think. Then slowly they talked about chance, matter, intelligence, and individual self. Intelligence means Chaitanya, our consciousness, through which we think, and individual self, the Jivatman. So we can talk a little bit about maybe Jivatman or intelligence. Let us talk about the individual. They are interconnected. In the ultimate analysis, the whole universe consists of cognizing minds, objects, and cognition, the bond between the two. Two things. We called the triputi. The subject you want to know, the gya, the jnata, who want to realize, know, jnata, in between the process, jnana, this process. So this is called triputi. The cognizing intelligence must be present in every thought, although the objective world may or may not be cognized. In the act of introspection, the cognizing subject does not feel or know the existence of anything external to itself. It converts itself, as it were, into an object for the purpose of observing itself. When you think about yourself, you already made an object out of you. When you started thinking process, you forgot about everything, the world. When you started your introspection, you already made an object. The cognizing subject is also present in sleep, when the whole of the objective universe seems to have vanished. This perceiving intelligence, therefore, has better claims to be considered as the cause of the universe than the entities mentioned before, like the time, nature, law, chance, etc., etc. But, now the objection. But on closer scrutiny, we find perceiving subject as much part of the universe as the perceived object, as both cannot exist apart from each other. Now let us talk about little individual self. The self must remain in samadhi as well as in deep sleep. Intelligence, when you're in a deep sleep, in sushupti, you forget about your intelligence. So that was the main objection, that intelligence cannot be the cause. Now the self, me, the individual self, it stays, it remains in samadhi and as well as in deep sleep. How? Although even intelligence vanishes, the consciousness of having enjoyed sound sleep and of the non-awareness of the existence of the world at the time of deep sleep bear evidence to this fact. The self must have existed in deep sleep, as it could not otherwise have had memory of these experiences after awakening. At least you say, I had a good sleep. So from where this memory came? Something was there to record your experience. You were not conscious, but somewhere that all those memory you kept. This individual self, which must thus be presumed to exist in all the three states of waking, dream, and sleep, as the knower, the enjoyer, and the doer, may be supposed to be the ultimate principle on which the explanation of the universe depends. Everything all right. Now, go deeper. But even this individual self seems to be not free. If it were free, it would have always continued to enjoy and not to suffer, as nobody likes suffering. The very fact that it has to come back to the dream world or to the waking world, which is full of happiness and misery, shows that there is some agent which is keeping it under its subjection. So those are the things they thought upon. That is that third sloka. Te dhyana yoganugata apashyan. They sat for meditation. Here also we find that after asking each other this, the scholars began to meditate. They are not, that's our subject is, they are not mere questioner. They had sincerity. So after asking all those questions, they tried to solve all those problems in meditation, to go deeper. So, te dhyana yoganugataha, they began to meditate deeply. Then apashyan, they saw the power of the luminous cosmic self as the cause of the universe. Maya, with its three gunas, hides the self behind the universe. The self, one and the same, controls everything mentioned previously, including the Purusha, the individual self, and time. Here we get to important things. The mental condition of the seeker that makes one question. And the second comes with the first one, preparing the ground, preparing oneself to perceive the greater truths. Out of nothing, question never comes out of nothing. So preparations were there. Their mental condition, why, from where this question arose, and their mental preparing the ground. They prepared themselves to sit for some time and think upon that. So at the very beginning, now again, so we talked about some Shvetashvatara. These slokas were from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Now let us return to Kena Upanishad. Shankara, Acharya Shankara, in his commentary, he gave a hint on the conditions to make some questions, the mind, from where questions comes, genuine questions. So he reminded about the context of the questions with which the Kena Upanishad started. He wrote in the introduction, since the Upanishad commencing with Kene Shitam and revealing the Supreme Brahman as to be spoken of, the 9th chapter begins. Here's a clue. That's why whenever you ask a question, we generally that answer in a question, please tell me the context. So that Kena Upanishad start with Kena, this word. So it was 9th chapter of something. So what was spoken in previous 8th chapter? That is important. So that is that background of this question. So what was there? Earlier these rites have been exhaustively dealt with, and the different meditation on the vital force as the basis of rites, as also the meditation on the various samas forming parts of rites have been spoken of. After that is stated the meditation on the Gayatras. You need not to remember. Just after that is stated the meditation on the Gayatra Sama, which ends with a succession of teachers and pupils and which relates to effects of action. If all these rites and meditation, as enjoined, are properly observed, they become the cause for the purification of the mind of one who is free from desires and longs for emancipation. So, Kena Upanishad forms part of the Upanishad Brahman of the Talavakara branch of the Samaveda. So all those previous 8 chapters, they dealt with various kind of Vedic rites and many things. How to sing a sama, many things, 8 chapter. So if somebody, that is we call dharma, the duty. As a human being, we have some duty to do. When with a sincere heart, we talked about that father of Nachiketa. Nachiketa, though he was a young boy, he could understand that my father is not sincere. Yeah. So if you're sincerely doing all your things, all your duties, your mind will become pure. And the love of freedom, it will come in your heart. Yeah. So Shankara says that if all these rites and meditations, this 8th chapter, all those things, as enjoined, are properly observed, they become the cause for the purification of the mind of one who is free from desires and longs for emancipation. Then he talked about something I can share to know. It is good to know something about. He talked about 2 margas, 2 ways, Dakshinayana and Uttarayana, and another third kind of path. So Dakshinayana means the southern part. How to translate that? That in Gita you can see that. In Gita also that. So, but in the case of one who cherishes desires and has no enlightenment, that is meditation on or knowledge of gods, the rites by themselves, as enjoined in the Vedas and the Smritis, become cause for the attainment of the southern path and for return to the world. But through activity prompted by natural impulses that are repugnant to the scriptures, there will be degradation into lower beings ranging from beasts to the motionless ones, that is trees, etc., in accordance with the Vedic text, if one does not perform rites or meditation, etc., etc., then one does not proceed by either of these paths, that is northern or southern. It says that who has a desire, but without knowledge, sakamasya tu jnana rahitasya. Sakama, you have desire to enjoy more. That's why you are following all those rituals, duties. So what will happen to you? You will go to the Dakshinayana, Dakshinapad, the southern path, and you go, and many things, Chandraloka, I do not want to say all those technical terms, southern path. But you have to come again and again, because with some money you have started your journey. Now in your past there is no money. You have to return to your now your tour. You have to postpone. Come back. You have exhausted all of your money. Now come back. So it is Dakshinayana. You have to go. And Uttarayana, you can go to the Brahmaloka, and slowly you can get liberation. We call Krama Mukti. Mukti, step by step. You need not to come back. And third one was that, this is that, but through activity prompted by natural impulses that are repugnant to the scriptures, there will be degradation into lower beings ranging from beasts to the motionless ones. Now he discussed that about, now if you follow only your impulses, your instincts, so who follows only the instincts? Beasts. They do not think about it, why I am doing, what will happen. So you will get that kind of birth as trees or beasts. Jayasva mriyasya, like insects, mosquito. So that's why we call that human being means to contemplate, to manana. What you are doing, be conscious about that, what you are doing. That is that our characteristic of human birth. We are not beasts. Only not we should not driven by our impulses and only the instincts. So we need not to fear much. Don't worry. So because we are thinking what we are doing. So now they become the little creatures, mosquito, etc., etc. The longing for the knowledge of the indwelling self arises only in that desireless man of pure mind who has renounced all transitory external means and ends by virtue of the emergence of a special kind of tendency in his mind created by works done in this life or in previous ones. This fact is being shown in the form of questions and answered by the Vedic text beginning with Kene Shitam, that sloks. And how beautifully he told. So I still remember. Evam hi vidaktasya. In that kind of person only. We'll translate that one. Evam hi vidaktasya pratyagatma vishayam vigyanam srotum mantram vigyatum cha samartham upapadyate nanyatha. I still remember when we read this line first. So it says, evam hi viraktasya, that only that kind of people who had that kind of mentality, that we saw that the longing for the knowledge of the indwelling self arises only in that desireless man of pure mind who has renounced all transitory, even the love to hear. You came here, that's why you are not ordinary. You at least came to hear. Vigyatum, shrotum, vigyatum, mantram, you love to think about that. It came from your previous, what you have done in your previous life. So, Vigyatum samartham, that strength comes, upapadyate nanyatha, there is no option. So it is logical. And from nowhere, this kind of, you are sitting here, you are hearing to, I am talking, there is cause. So it is only effect. So in this way alone does a man of detachment acquire the competence to hear. That is competence to hear, competence to meditate on, and competence to realize the knowledge of the indwelling self, and not otherwise. Clear? Shankara wrote clearly. So from here we can see that inside his or her mind, he or she became ready to receive lofty ideas and thoughts in this life, and outside there was humility. We are going to enter in the second part. So we see inside is the question, outside is the humility. How? Again, let us take. In ancient India, students used to go to pay their respects to their teachers, carrying sacrificial wood in their hands, and that would help the teacher to continue their daily Vedic rites. Humility, out of respect. I am going to ask to my teacher, so I have to serve him. So humility and a real desire to learn work together. Two things necessary. That's why you see the language used by Arjuna in second chapter. Both are military person, Kshatriya. But when he realized his weakness, the language he used, Karpanna doshopahata swabhava prichhami tang dharma sangmudha cheta yatshreya sannischitang bruhitan me shishyastehang sadhimang tang prapannam. O Arjuna, with my nature, O Krishna, with my nature overpowered by weak commiseration, here Karpanna dosha, with a mind in confusion about duty, sangmudha cheta, confused about my duty, I supplicate thee, I beg earnestly, say decidedly what is good for me, I am thy disciple, instruct me who have taken refuge in thee. Swarupananda wrote about thy disciple. Until this declaration has been made, the master may not give the highest knowledge. He added, Swarupananda ji, he was a disciple of Swami Vivekananda. I took this verse from Bhagavad Gita by Swarupananda ji. Then again, in Gita, that I think well-known verse, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tvattadarshinaha. That by prostrating thyself, by questions and by service, the wise those who have realized the truth will instruct thee in that knowledge. Three things. Prostration means humility, respect. Prashna, pariprasnena, we were discussing that one. There is difference between prashna and pariprashna. Prashna means it comes from casual mind. Just you ask a question. A fake question. You want to pass some time. Real questions means pariprashna, comes from sincere heart. So, three things. Tadvidhi, you have to know, prostrating thyself by question and by service. The wise, those who have realized the truth, will instruct thee in that knowledge. Along with this, one more thing seems necessary. Tapasya. Tapas. A self-restraint life, a mastery on oneself. Is austerity in mind. It's important. How you understand that? Your capacity to tolerate the conflicts. From there, we understand your capacity of mind. Sometimes, Akhandanandaji, one story, incident happened. One brahmachari, after Mangalarati, morning service from the temple, he got down from the shrine and he found Akhandanandaji, one of the direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, was standing, and suddenly he started scolding him. So, after some time, he stopped, seeing the face, that the face of the brahmachari. Then he told, so now you became upset, hearing some words. What you were doing in the temple, what you are doing temple, it will give strength of mind to tolerate the conflicts, honor, dishonor, shita, ushna, that heat and cold, dandva, this conflict, we call this dual, these opposites. All the same. Somebody will honor you, somebody may criticize you. So you should not take it seriously. Yeah, just that one. Serious means strength. If somebody criticizes you, pay your attention and check, is there substance in their criticism, and learn from it as a learning procedure, but not otherwise. So teachers sometimes test students to evaluate the potentiality and competence of the student. In Prashna Upanishad, we found 6 young gentlemen. They were well versed in Vedas, like that. In Karma Kanda, Vedas, rituals, they knew everything. They all those practices that we discussed. Shankara talked about that. Now some question arose in their mind. So these 6 young boys saying, Sukesha cha Bharadvaja Shaivyascha Satyakama Sayoyani cha Garga Kaushalyascha Ashwalayana Bhargava Vaidarbhi Kavandhi Kattayanaste Hete Brahmapara Brahmanistha Parang Brahma Nveshamana Eshaha Vai Tat Sarvang Bhakshati Iti Teha Samit Panayo Bhagavantang Pippaladam Upasanna. Why I did after some days, you may not understand, but sometimes the sounds may help you. You see, who are they? They remember about those name of the young boys. They are, I do not to repeat, like Sukesha, Bharadwaja, Shaibya, Satyakama, the 6. And they talked about their lineage also. The father of whose name was, father's name was that, they came from that place of the country. So they came. And how they came? They were Brahmapara, Brahmanistha. They are sincere. They well thought on Brahman. Brahman means the reality of the universe. The truth, the supreme truth. Take it in that way. Brahmanistha. They followed all those disciplines. Now they want to know more. Brahma Anveshamana. Now they want to know more. They want to go deep. They are not satisfied with the knowledge, superficial information. Yeah. Knowing superficial information is something different. When we practice it, we assimilate in your life. So that is how comes sincerity. Now, with Samit Panayo, taking some firewood, that way, old Indian way. Don't come with firewood, please. Here. So our Maharaj sometimes says, so always we are become little bit frightened, yeah, when we discuss all those things. So we heard many stories from our Swami. So they came, where they did go? Bhagavantam Pippaladam. Bhagavantam, Bhagavan Pippalada. Bhagavan is the word still we use. It is not about the like God. Had some godly qualities, like Bhagavan Vyasa, Bhagavan Shuka. Still I remember some part of the India, whenever they talk with some respected person, they call Bhagavan Aye. Please come inside. So it is honoring, he found or she found some great qualities. So it is another thing. Sometimes some societies are so supportive. It reminds you, don't that of low self-esteem. You should not have low self-esteem. That words helps you to rise your self-esteem. You are not ordinary person. You have done many great things. So anyhow, they went to Pippalada, the sage teacher. But what did the sage say? What was his instruction? He told, Tanha sa rishiruvacha Bhuya eva tapasa brahmacharyena sangvasyatha yatha kama prashnan prichata yadi vigyasyama sarvang havo vakshama iti. The sage told them, stay with me whole year, another year, practicing austerities, continence, and with due respect for the teacher and the scripture. Then ask me whatever questions you like. I will answer them to the best of my ability. Gambhiranandaji told, it is called Satyavadi, Sankalpa, Sarvagya, Satyavadi, and Vinayi. People are told, okay, you have come, now stay with me. Do tapasya, austerities for 1 year, whole year, practicing austerities, continence, and with due respect for the teacher and the scriptures. Then ask me. So, thus prashna, journey from prashna to pariprashna, to fake question to real question. This is the journey. So, I know everything. See the teacher. He is saying, I will answer them to the best of my ability. Vinay, humility. Whatever I know, I will tell you. I will share it. So the gift of self-knowledge is the highest. It is supreme. People are the wanted to see, the better qualified to receive it. This is why he suggested that they stay there practicing austerities, self-control, and showing due respect to the teacher and the scriptures. These are needed in spiritual life. Genuine. It reminded me about an incident. I do not say the story. We read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the book. The story was about Srila Sanatana Goswami, the great saint of 16th century, a close associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And to many of us, we regard him as incarnation of God, like that, Chaitanya Deva. So now we are talking about an incident from the life of Sanatana Goswami. He was one of the great 6 Goswamis, 6 saints. Sanatana, Rupa, and Vallabha, another name of Vallabha was Anupama. Anupam. So, Sanatana and Rupa, Vallabha died earlier. So, we are talking about this, especially in Sanatana, we have to adjust it with time also. So, they were high officers in the court of Nawab, the ruler, Hussain Shah. So, Hussain Shah used to depend a lot on Sanatana and Rupa. Let me check. Because for their knowledge, they are learned people, their capability, they are skillful in their work, and those are the person that Hussain Shah used to that trust a lot. But it happened once that Hussain Shah, he sent Sanatana and Rupa when he heard first about Chaitanya Deva. So when he first from the spy and your officials, you heard about one strange monk came. His name is Sri Chaitanya in my kingdom. So who is that? What is there any hidden intention in mind of that particular monk? So this Sanatana and Rupa, they went to visit him. And when they saw Chaitanya Deva, they were let me do that one, and to do not want to miss anything. So, yes. So, that until that when they saw him, the good samaskaras buried in Sanatana's heart and Rupa's heart were ignited in thousands of flames. When they saw that Chaitanya Deva, but they apparently informed Hussain Shah, the Nawab, the king, that don't be worried. He's a nice monk, and you need not to think about him. But their life was transformed. They got a direction seeing Chaitanya Deva. So when they returned their home, Sanatana's brother Rupa, he left home forever in pursuit of a meaningful life. They were tired to follow the instruction of a whimsical king. So they left that home. But Sanatana's job was of a different kind. He was Dabir-i-Khas. Two kind of words were there. We call Rupa was Shakara Mallika. It was a title, means probably treasurer. And Dabir-i-Khas, it was Sanatan's post was Dabir-i-Khas. He was some kind of private secretary. So a treasurer can flee. But a private secretary, it was difficult for Sanatana to suddenly abandon the duty. So he could not leave home immediately. Thinking of all sides, he deliberately started neglecting the royal duties, and was finally, he became angry. What are you doing? What happened to you? But he became frustrated. The king was frustrated. So he finally sentenced Sanatana to imprisonment. But by many tricks, he came out from the jail and tried to leave Gaur. Gaur means in old name of Bengal. He left Gaur, and quickly as possible. So he wanted to go to Benares, Kashi. He got that news. Sri Chaitanya Deva was staying at Benares at that time. So he started walking. So in between, if you remember the map of India, you'll find Bengal is eastern part of India, and Kashi is north, little central there. So you have to, in those days, you have to go through the forest area of Jharkhand. Nowadays, I were talking about 400-500, more than that 5 centuries ago. So it was a forest area. So as he for the polluted water and many things, so he got some kind of skin problem. So Sanatana. So when he went there, his condition was really poor. On that long journey, his clothes were torn, his body was smeared with dust, and all those problems in the skin. But the blazing fire of dispassion was guiding him in that dark forest. Now who will see him and say, once he was a amatya, a high officer of Hussain Shah. On the way, he met with a generous person who gave him, he understand the good qualities of Sanatana, and he presented a expensive blanket. It was written Bhot Kambala. It was expensive, that blanket he offered. So after a long journey, he finally arrived at Kashi, the Benares. Now, in Kashi, Chaitanya Deva was living, we staying in the house of Chandrasekhara. So he told Chandrasekhara, please go outside and check if some visitor is there waiting for me or not. Say, a great Vaishnava, a great saint has come. Please check. So he went outside, Chandrasekhara, and found he had we have a preoccupied ideas in your brain. Oh, a great saint. He must be look like that, maybe with big beard, white beard, and mala, rudraksha mala. We have that kind of idea. Chandrasekhar went outside and checked. Huh? Nobody, no saint. So he returned. But it was not Chandrasekhar's fault. Who would understand how much pain and suffering that Sanatana had gone through to reach here? Covered with hair and beard, Sanatana was unrecognizable. But Chaitanya Deva has rightly recognized his eternal companion. Yeah? He is Parshada, we called, disciple. He understood. As soon as Chandrasekhar's, that the gentleman entered, Mahaprabhu ran towards him and embraced him in deep affection. Sanatana saw the grace of the Chaitanya Deva and his heart was melted. The more he wanted to move away, the closer Sri Chaitanya drew him. Sanatana's humility was extraordinary. Today he has reached the feet of Sri Chaitanya Deva. Having washed away the previous establishment, fame, and social recognition forever. Staying far away from any sense of superiority, he admonished himself by saying that he had been in the company of worldly people and entertained worldliness for so long, because he was doing that kind of duty. So, why you are touching me? I am a poor person. Don't touch me. Then Chaitanya Dev, he told that no. Today, a beautiful sloka is there that your eyes become it gets its real meaning when you see a saint, a holy person. Your skin, your body gets its real meaning when you touch a holy person. And my jiva, my tongue, gets its real meaning because it is now singing your glory. And but anyhow, it was not enough. Sanatana's exam was not over yet. Chaitanya Deva wanted to play a little. He was in a playful mood. How pure, he wanted to check the competence of Sanatana. How pure is his Sanatana? At the command of Chaitanya Deva, the devotee Tapan Mishra got Sanatana shaved, and Chandrasekhara, another devotee, bathed him and gave him a new garment to wear. But Sanatana did not want it to accept that cloth, new cloth. The torn cloth he felt was worthy of him at the time. So, but now again, when Tapan Mishra requested more and more, so he then thought that let us accept that one. A great devotee like Tapan Mishra is going. So he he told, okay, Mishra, please give your one used dhoti, used garment, not a new one. So Tapan Mishra gave that new dhoti, old dhoti, and out of that he made his garment, his cloth. Again, so when Chaitanya heard that, he became that joyful. So a real humility we can see in Sanatana. Again, when another devotee told, okay, as long as you are living in Kashi, please come to my home. I will give you daily bhiksha. You need not to go beg from door to door. Come here. So, but Sanatana was not agree with that. No, I am a monk. I have to go door to door. So he did not accept that one. So again, hearing that story, Chaitanya became more joyful. So, but whenever he used to come, Sanatana, to visit Chaitanya Deva, so he used to look at that expensive blanket that was still hanging in his shoulder. So Sanatana understood. Now Chaitanya Deva he is not happy with that precious, that kambal I am using. So he wanted to do something. What to do? So he went to the Ganges, at the shore bank of Ganges, and found a poor beggar was drying his old torn wrapper in the sun. So he requested that beggar, please exchange, please give your old cloth wrapper and take that one. He became surprised. What is that? This kind of trade, business, I never heard of. Only this, instead of a old wrapper, you wanted to give this one. But Sanatana gave that ultimately. And when he returned, seeing Sanatana, his joy cannot hold anymore, Chaitanya Devas. He told that, you see, he, that great Lord, already deprived you of all your interests. He graciously accepted the last one today. This one was still with you. Today, he took away that last one also. So now you are capable to ask something. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is beautiful word. Tar kripaye prashna kurite tar shakti hoilo. His grace gave him strength to ask. Chaitanya Deva's grace gave Sanatana strength to ask. So how strange kind of thing. Then he asked everything that he started, that I have some question, real question. Who am I? Why this tapatraya is tormenting me? And tapatraya, three kinds of tapa. Literally means suffering, agony, misery. That adhyatmika, adhidoivika, and adhibhautika. Three kind of thing. So why that we get misery from our diseases, internal diseases, adhyatmika kind of thing. We sometimes feel that sorrow, bad times, adhyatmika. Adhibhautika means other bhutas, other living beings, from snakes, etc., etc. Adhidaivika, unseen daiva, means that earthquake, flood. So all those things, why this tapatra is tormenting me? I do not know how I am benefited. O Lord, what is the nature of this being? Please give me an answer. Is there any way to get rid of it? Then Chaitanya Deva started giving the answers. And not only for 2 months, he gave that are the beautiful teaching of Chaitanya Deva. Okay, let us conclude today's discussion from a sloka from Aitareya Upanishad, Sheta Upanishad. Banhir yatha yonigatasya murtirna drishyate naiva chalinga nasha sa bhuya evendhana yoni griha stadvo bhayang vai pranabena dehe. Fire is not perceived in its cause, the fire stick, till it is ignited by percussion. The subtle essence of fire, nevertheless, is not absent in the stick, for fire can be obtained from the source, the fire stick, by striking again. By meditating on the pranava, the Atman is perceived manifestly in the body, but it was there in a latent state even before realization. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.